Hi and welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you have visited before. My name is Angela, and here on this tiny little place on the internet I share everything about my knitting and other crafty ventures that I endeavor on. And today I wanted to share everything about my first finished garment of 2025. This is the Aster sweater, and I will add a video of me wearing it. I have modified this pattern a lot, so I figured I will do a dedicated video just to this garment. I am very, very happy how it came out, and I have worn it already a few times. Trying not to wear it multiple times when I meet the same people, but try to wear it as much as I can. I will start telling you everything about the pattern, then everything about the yarn, and then everything about my modifications. So this is a free pattern, Aster sweater from Drops Designs. You cannot find it on Ravelry, but you can find it on Drops Designs website, and I will add the link in the description box. This pattern calls for worsted or Aran weight yarn. Actually, it is made for the Drops Air, which is quite a popular yarn. It is, I think it's a new technology of how to make knitting yarn. It is like a tube, and then a certain fibers are blown into it, so it's a very airy and light yarn. I did not use the yarn that this pattern was made for, but I will get to that in just a little bit. The sizes available in this pattern are small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. Just not bad. Could be better, but it's not too bad. It actually calls for 300 up to 500 grams of Drops Air for the pattern, and the gauge is 15 stitches by 22 rows, 10 by 10 centimeter swatch, and the needles 6mm needles. And I have, so this pattern is made in 4 separate pieces, which would be the front, the back, and the sleeve separate, and then sewn everything together. I did modify that quite a bit, but let me get to my yarn first. I have found this yarn on my trip to Salem in Massachusetts, this most gorgeous yarn shop that I have visited. I bought this yarn right here from Circula Bossa Nova. It is 100% superwash merino. It is a little heavier yarn, so 100 grams. I have only 169 yards, but after washing it, it bloomed a little, and it became softer, squishier, if you may. This color that I have picked is blackberry. Interesting thing about this yarn, it is a hand-dyed yarn, and they do recommend if you buy in for a project to buy the yarn, the quantity that you need, because color may vary from one to other whatchamacallit, dye lot. And I did actually buy, I think, it was hard for me to figure out. I was a little confused about the drops yardage and yardage in this yarn. And with my calculations, it almost felt like I needed to buy 10 skeins, which was a lot. And I ended up buying 4, I think. Yeah, 4. And then I could not stop thinking about it, having doubts. And then I went in the day after and I bought 2 more. And I'm really happy that I did, because I ended up using 500, almost 550 grams of this yarn. And even if all of my skeins were from the same dye lot, one of them actually looked quite lighter than the others, but I did use it for one of the sleeves, and I don't think you can actually really see the difference. And I think that the pattern actually helps a lot. I do believe that this is a broken rib stitch, and it has a little detail up front, which I like a lot. It took me a long time to finish this sweater. I started in September 25th and I finished in January 25th. So I brought this with me into 2026. It took me a long time because at the same time I have been working on other projects. I am definitely not a monogamous knitter. I like to have variety, and when I get tired of one thing, I can pick up something else and then go back to the project that I have set down for a little while. I don't think there is anything else I want to tell you about this yarn. It did release a little bit of a halo after blocking. I have not washed it since I blocked it, and I think I worn it about 4 or 5 times. It is pilling just a tiny bit under the arm, but its pills, they're really easy to pick off right now. One thing about this yarn, it is made with, show you, with those, so it's easy to split. Let's see, very easy to split. So you do need to watch. Sorry, I started planting seeds already and I see some dirt under my nails. Yeah, it's easy to split, and it's also easy to catch on things. So here we go, right there. Yep. So you do need to pay a little bit of attention. It's a little bit fussy, but I think it looks really nice. The ways I have changed this pattern. So I did start, it starts with front piece, and I did provisional cast on, and I will add a video. I did a provisional cast on and I did work all the way down to where you start adding stitches to create the armhole. And then I picked up the provisional cast on and I worked the back all the way down to where you start picking up stitches for the armholes. There are few, and then few increases, and then there is a big one. So when there was the last big one, I just worked the row and I casted on those stitches -1 in a way that I could just continue the stitch pattern. And I picked the back piece and I cast it on the last big increase for the armhole, and I kept going and I worked in a round. That took off sewing on the arms, on the shoulders, and sewing on the sides. So I created kind of a vest, if you may, and avoiding sewing the two separate pieces. I just knitted them together. Let me see if I have. So I did make the armholes longer, and the reason was my gauge was quite off. So the pattern calls for 6 millimeters. I tried with this yarn. I didn't like it. Was way so with the 6 millimeter needle, the gauge was way too loose. I didn't like it. I tried 5. That was too tight, and I settled on 5.5. And the gauge required for this pattern was 15 stitches. I had 19 stitches, and it was 22 rows, and I had 30 rows, which means that my gauge swatch overall, the sweater is much smaller than what it should have been. I did pick a size small, and you can see on the picture how much positive ease she has. And because it gives you a row count for when you're supposed to start the increases for the armholes, and I love this, and not every pattern has this, but I love when there is a finished project measurements. And my armhole, if I was going to start increases when the pattern calls for it, would have been much smaller than what it should have been. So I added a few rows there, and yeah, I did block it right after that, just to see how much the yarn would stretch, and it did stretch a little bit. It did grow a little bit, and the armhole was good. And when I did the sleeves, so you do that classic sleeve shape that you get when you knit a separate sleeve, that it's open. It's almost like a palm, so it has this curved edge on the top, and then it becomes it has a little lip here, and it has a little lip here, and then it's just straight or tapered all the way down when you sew it together. So what I did, I cast on these stitches right here. I did the increases as the pattern has called for. I think I gotten confused at one point when there was for my size increase 0 for 4 rows. I should have worked those 4 rows without increases, but I just skipped them all together because there were no increases for me. I know, stupid. So my lip was shorter than what it should have been. So what that did, it is a little bit of a drop shoulder. So the shoulder of the sweater is right here. And if I would have made this part of the sleeve a little longer, it would have relaxed a little more. It would have bunched up here a little less, if that makes sense. But I do like it just the way it came out. I think it ended up being okay, and didn't matter that much. When I have finished the increases for the sleeve, and when the stitches were just in the amount needed for the round, I joined together again, and I worked in a round so there's no bottom seam. And I did Italian sewn bind off for the sleeves and for the length too. Just a little stretchy. I learned Italian bind off end of last year, and I totally fell in love with it, and I just want to use it all the time now. And yeah, one other thing that I have not done is that for the neck piece, you are supposed to knit up stitches, and so you are supposed to pick up stitches and just knit a couple of rows of, let me see, work 2 ridges. I'm not sure what 2 ridges mean, but I guess just a couple of rows, either ribbing maybe. And I did not do that because I really like this unfinished row edge. I think it looks really nice, just the way it is. I kind of like things simpler, not overcomplicated, not overly, how can I say this? Just like, I think it was Coco Chanel that said, if you think that you're ready, take 10 things off, and then you are ready. Does that make sense? So less is more kind of thing. And I do like that philosophy, and I do like that in garments. I think that simple, neat things are more elegant than when there is a lot. Anyway, so I ended up doing just the minimal sewing, my arms, my sleeves into the body piece, and that was the only sewing that I did with this pattern. I did block it before I sewn my sleeves in, and another thing about this yarn, it has bled a lot when I blocked it. I let it sit in the water. What I usually do, I put the garment for blocking in the morning before I go to work, and then when I come back from work, I rinse it out and I block it. So I think it might have been in the water for 9 to 10 hours, something like that. I use just a little bit of the wool detergent, that's all. And I used cold water. I did not use any vinegar or color catcher because it was the only thing that was going into the water. Yeah, but if you are using this yarn, heads up, it did bleed a lot, and I have a video of the water afterwards. Yeah, and like I said, it has blocked beautifully. It did, so once it was wet, it looked like it has stretched a lot, inches and inches, but I did set it down and pat it, and as it dries, it kind of fluffs up and it shrinks back a little bit. It did grow, I don't know, maybe like an inch in length, and maybe like yeah, even on the sleeves, I think where I have finished knitting it was about here, and after blocking I'm about there. And I'm happy with everything, with the length of the sweater, with the fit. I do think I still have some positive ease. The garment's supposed to be a little oversized, at least that's what it looks like on the picture, but I think this is just the perfect size for me. Even the armholes are just, yeah, comfy. It's not tight anywhere, and overall I am in love with it. Let me know if you have ever tried this pattern. I have not found anything anywhere. The only thing that I have found is just a pattern on Drop's website. It's not on Ravelry. There's no projects on Ravelry. There's really not no tags for it, and I have not seen anybody really using this yarn either. It's really, I like the way it feels. It's not itchy at all. It is a little heavier, so this whole sweater ended up being 550 grams, which is, I mean, it's not like you're wearing 10 pounds, but 550 grams. It's about half a kilo, which would be about a pound, I think. About a pound of a sweater. Yeah, and so it's a little heavier, but not like it weighs you down. It's still very comfy. I guess what I'm trying to say, it's not airy. It's warm, but it's not overly warm. And I have not tried washing in washing machine, but it probably would be okay because it is super wash yarn. I will report back probably at the end of the year again how it is holding up. And yeah, I think that's it. I am super excited. This is my first finished sweater in 2026. Well, to be honest, it is finished sweater in a long time and in many years, and it actually fits nicely, and I enjoy wearing it, and I can't wait to make more. If you want to know what I'm planning on knitting, I can add a link to my last video, which was all my plans for 2026. And yeah, let me know, have you finished any projects already in 2026? It is already February, so I think that more prolific and more monogamous knitters, I'm sure, have finished quite a few projects already. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and listening to my ramble. And if you want to come back, and I would be very grateful if you could subscribe, like, please comment, let me know what you got going on, let me know what you think about this sweater, if you have tried the yarn, if you have tried any other drops patterns, what you think. Do you modify your patterns, and how? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. And until next time, I hope your life is filled with happiness. Bye.